a que no llore más, a que no piense en mí. Si yo te había olvidado, por fin había logrado no pensar en ti. Si todo fue blasfemia, tú nunca me quisiste, porque mientes así. Si no es posible que me engañes más, no implores más.
Well, good morning if it's morning, good evening if it's evening, and good night if it's night. And a very hearty salam alaikum to each and every one of you that's listening to us live or will be listening to us in archive. I am once again in the cusp, in the grab of Facebook jail. Yes. I am in Facebook jail. Why am I in Facebook jail? Well, simply because someone doesn't like me. Someone decided to report a picture that I posted up today in remembrance of Oshun, Ibu Kole. Ibu Kole is actually, it wasn't actually a picture. It was a painting of a half-naked woman with, a side of her breast showing and with a big vulture on her head. Mind you, I have posted this painting for the last 3 consecutive years. And I sit here and I wonder, guys, why would someone, or why do people take the time to delete or take the time to report pictures or paintings that they find offensive? Well, and then I started thinking about it, and I says, you know what? People do it all the time. I mean, just for the sake of not liking the person or not agreeing with the person on certain things that they say. I have mastered, ladies and gentlemen, art of um the art of scrolling. I just scroll by posts that I find offensive, or I find things that do not I do not agree with. It is so much easier than spending my time in that negativity. The story behind that pictures um was of Ibukole. Ibukole is an aspect of Oshun. See, there was a time when no one in the earth was following Olodumare's plans, oral science plans. Um, and they were acting very badly. So they decided to send a message with birds to heaven, since the birds were able to reach Olodumare. Once the United States decided on a course of action to send out hummingbirds first, but because they were so small, the heavy winds would push them, and they would return. The mockingbird went second, and since it could fly higher because of his large birds, excited with now being chosen to deliver the message to Olodumare, the mockingbird flew very high for a time until he could no longer continue his upward return. When the Orishas learned that the mockingbird had also failed, they had decided to send Oya, since she was in the air and could reach Olodumare. Oya was ready the next morning to start her mission. She thought that she would be able to reach her father with the message, and her siblings would forgive her for the harm she had caused to Oba. After flying for several hours, she also returned as the higher and higher she flew to the farther in the sky became. When the Orishas saw her coming back, they thought there was no one else that could qualify for this accomplishment plan. They started to say everything was lost. No one had hope that Olodumare would hear their pleas. She saw themselves drowning, and the situation became desperate. They all would disappear in the face of the earth. They were all complaining of their luck and their death, and the death of Olodumare they had chosen, when a buzzard appeared and announced, "I will take the message to Olodumare." Although these critical times, they looked at each other and laughed at the ugly bird, who had the audacity to think such a thing. No one in the reunion noticed that the youngest of the Orishas, Oshun, was missing, and her opinion was not important since she was the youngest. The farther thing from their minds was that the one speaking through the mouth of the buzzard was Oshun. As in one of her paths, Ibukole, they were still asking, how could it be possible that this horrendous bird, who fed on rotten meat, could dare to do such? They ignored the fact upon Oshun's birth that her father gave her the facility of talking, the possession of a body, whether an animal or a vegetable, or an occasion she had decided to possess the body of a buzzard to show her siblings that they could be saved. By whom they least suspected Ibukole, the rottenness and sneakiness. It was the first path of the youngest Orisha, at the same time was the most and very great. The Orishas saw the bird and spoke in authority, thought it was convicted that the buzzard could not reach the heavens. The buzzard asked, what was the message that they would take to Olodumare? They became silent, as they knew that he would say to the father. No one spoke. No one knew the reason for their punishment. They can only lament that their father was doing, but not one of them took the time to analyze the harm they had done to each other Neither did consider their disobedience. The buzzard, looking at all them, could see you were capable of taking the initiative to talk, to send the message to Olodumare. The buzzard paid no attention and started to fly towards up the heavens, looking for the father of the Orishas. Flying without rest, she found herself exhausted, and without any strength to continue, she was saddened by the thought and unable to successfully complete a mission. But then a bright, beautiful light she had never seen before, closer and closer to the light, and it became beautiful and brilliant. Once the buzzard was very close to the light, Kole stated that experiences some wondering saturation. The light, Orora Unu, the house of God, the palace of Olodumare. This was a place referred to by the Yorubas when they speak about Olofin and all their stories. In the Lukumi language, Olofin means the house of God. Kole noticed her strength had returned, and once she was able to think clearly, she just seeing what no one had saw before. The marvelous experience she was happy to protagonize. The light was beginning to be innocent, and then began to aid it. And then, for no reason, the beauty on earth and the grandeur in the universe, and for the reason of all the things created, Olodumare and his children of the Orishas. Then he asked herself and her siblings did not appropriate. Olodumare had given, killing joy without fighting. As Kole was asking herself these nervous questions, she noticed that she was in the middle of the light and that she could be considered the center. She noticed she was in front of Olodumare. She was not need anyone to tell her she was not in the presence of the creator of the kingdom. Just it was not necessary to explain all the things, and everything was clear to her then. Being here, she felt the center of the palace was more beautiful than any place on earth. But was curious at this time when the place of the palace was alive. A life no one had ever seen before, and was able to talk and perceive everything around it. From here radiated all the energy that gave life to the universe. Everything radiated upon this place, so splendid and so divine. She understood that the palace managed the paths of existence and the mysterious life and death. There were so many things coming into her mind, she thought it was all an illusion, a dream. But it was all real because in her mind, the transmissions for Olodumare, who spoke without words, who would do anything he wanted as the Lord and the Master of the universe. This is a story of how Ibukele came to pass. Maferefum Ibukele. And that's the picture that got me in trouble. Sometimes humanity doesn't want to be saved.
rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
Oyo, 7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
Ah, rayo pato un Congo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
Arriba para abajo ponte, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
7 rayos allá en La Palma, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
Oyo, 7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
Chango, Cabiecileo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
Oyo, 7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
A rayo pato un Congo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7
7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas Congo.
7 rayos me lleva 7
7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas Congo.
7 rayos me lleva
7 leguas, 7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva
7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me
A
lleva
rayo para Congo, 7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva
Fabio, si le mi chango, 7 leguas, 7 leguas Congo.
7 rayos me lleva
7 leguas, 7 leguas Congo, 7 leguas.
7 rayos me lleva 7 leguas.
Ya la vi, le me, ya balan, balan. Pero que estaba llorando una niña, que estaba llorando una niña, a las orillas del río, viendo las amarguras de este mundo tan traidor. Y ella le imploraba a Dios, ella le imploraba a Dios, solo pidió batalá, pero nadie la escuchaba, y ella decidió volar. Ya la vi, le, ya balan, balan. Pero, oh, abuela, tiñosa abuela, ¿cómo va a volar? Oh, ¿cómo va a volar? Oh, Dios lo pilló batalla. Tiñosa, ¿cómo va a volar? Tiñosa, a volar. Y mi abuela, abuela ya. Oh, Dios lo pilló batalla. Oh, como vuela ya. Vuela, vuela ya. Oh, Dios lo pilló batalla. Niña, ¿cómo va a volar? Oh, Dios lo pilló batalla. Vuela, como vuela ya. Vuela, niña, vuela ya. Vuela, ¿cómo va a volar? Ole, valleo, ole, baguache. Ole, 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 ole, baguache. Y tú, ole, baguache. Niña, mira cómo va a volar. Ole, ole, baguache. Ole, ole, baguache. Ole, ole, baguache. Niña, abuela, cómo va a volar. Macetono ya lo le, macetona. Oyo, macetono ya lo de, donache.
is Ilu Aye with La Tiñosa. In other words, goodness gracious, now I cannot remember the damn name of the bird. Don't worry about it. The expert that I read a little bit earlier is called Ita, the Mythology of the Yoruba Religion by Oba Ikun. Okay, now I got it. La Tiñosa. Okan is called the vulture, okay? Ilu Aye La Tiñosa, which translate into the vulture. Okay, the expert, the insert I read a little while ago is called Ita, the Mythology of the Yoruba Religion by Oba Ekun. It is published by Oba Ekun Books, okay? I find this book very interesting. I find it very informational, and it is also in English. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more about the mythology, something that is written in plain English so you guys can understand, I believe that this book is very good reading. It tells you 1,000 stories. It tells you certain things on all the Orishas, their birth of them, and parts and aspects of them that you'll see when you read. Again, the name of the book is Ita, the Mythology of the Yoruba Religion. Hopefully you guys will pick it up, check it out. It's a good read. It's very informative. You guys will enjoy it. Well, with us today, I see in our chat room, Mr. Keith Swift from Ravens Alley. Thank you for joining us. Miss Wen Hernandez is with us also from Readings by Wen, who happens to be in the path of the hurricane. So today they gave her a break from her teaching job, and she's over here listening. I see Miss Chantel all the way from London, England. Hi there. Miss Yvette the Motown Witch from YvetteTheMotownWitch.com is also joining us. Thank you, love. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I see R.K. Gomez is also in our chat room. He's posted up free Candelo Kimbisa. Thank you. I will be up out of there tomorrow. I just gotta know, well, people gotta know that I'm gonna keep on being me, okay? And I'm gonna keep on posting what the fuck I want to post, especially when it comes to depictions and paintings and things of that sort. I have never and will never post any type of nudity or pornography in any of my Facebook posts, but you know how it is. People choose to do whatever they want to do in order to get back at you. See, guys, that's when I have to ask people, what's in your magic? That's why I ask all the time. See, because it seems to me that people's magics consist of disliking and reporting people's pages on social media. See, guys, it's all about the magic. Let's see your magic. If your fingers are the only magic you have none at all. But of course, this is me speaking for myself in Facebook jail. They thought they could stop me, but I'm still here. I'll be right back.
La 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 chola, chola, chola con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero. La chola, chola, chola con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero. La chola, chola, chola con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero. Chola, chola, chola con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero. Chola, chola, chola con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero. Chola, chola, chola con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero. Chola, chola, chola con con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero.
Chola, chola, chola con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero.
Chola, chola, chola con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero.
Chola, chola, chola con tanta manilla y yo no tengo dinero.
Chola con tanta manilla
y yo no tengo dinero.
Chola con tanta manilla
y yo no tengo dinero.
Chola wengue con tanta manilla
y yo no tengo dinero.
Chola con tanta manilla
y yo no tengo dinero.
Chola con tanta manilla
y yo no tengo dinero.
Mamá chola con tanto dinero, manilla de oro, su cuerpo sin nada.
Mamá chola con tanto dinero, manilla de oro y su cuerpo sin nada.
Mamá chola con tanto dinero, manilla de oro, su cuerpo sin nada.
Mamá chola con tanto dinero, manilla de oro y su cuerpo sin nada.
Mamá chola con tanto dinero, manilla de oro, su cuerpo sin nada.
Mamá chola con tanto dinero, manilla de oro y su cuerpo sin nada.
Mamá chola con tanto dinero, manilla de oro, su cuerpo sin nada.
Mamá chola con tanto dinero, manilla de oro y su cuerpo sin nada.
Vamos a zambar, mamá chola o mayombe, lango va a correr.
Vamos a zambar, mamá chola, mayombe.
Lango va a correr.
Vamos a zambar, mamá chola, mayombe.
Lango va a correr.
Vamos a zambar, mamá chola, mayombe.
Abri un berawe.
Vamos a zambar, mamá chola, mayombe.
Lango va a correr.
Vamos a zambar, mamá chola, mayombe.
Mamá chola, lango va a correr.
Vamos a zambar, mamá chola, mayombe.
Riumba, lango va a correr.
Vamos a zambar, mamá chola, mayombe.
Ay, lango va a correr.
Vamos a zambar, mamá chola, mayombe.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola. Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola. Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola. Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola. Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola. Chola caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge
Mamá chola,
chola.
chola caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola, chola caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Mamá chola caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola wenge caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola wenge caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Chola caminando.
Chola wenge, a wenge chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda, niña linda, niña linda, la mamá chola.
Niña linda,
La mamá chola.
niña linda,
La mamá chola.
niña linda,
La mamá chola.
niña linda,
La mamá chola.
niña linda,
La mamá chola.
niña linda,
La mamá chola.
Mamá chola, Pirindingo te está esperando, Pirindingo te está esperando, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Mamá chola, pirindingo te está esperando.
Pirindingo, Pirindingo, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Mamá chola, pirindingo te está esperando.
Mamá chola, chola wengue, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Mamá chola, pirindingo te está esperando. esperando.
Chola, wengue, chola, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Mamá chola, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Pirindingo, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Mamá chola, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Pirindingo te está esperando, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Mamá chola, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Pirindingo, mamá chola, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Mamá chola, Pirindingo te está esperando.
Niña linda con tanta manilla, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta
Con
manilla.
tanta manilla, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta
Con
manilla.
tanta manilla, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta
Con
manilla.
tanta manilla, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta
Con
manilla.
tanta manilla, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta
Con
manilla.
tanta manilla, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta
Con
manilla.
tanta manilla, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta
Con
manilla.
tanta manilla, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta manilla.
Mamá chola, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta manilla.
Ah, manilla, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta manilla.
Mamá chola, yo sin ninguna.
Niña linda con tanta manilla.
Mambe.
Yo.
Yes, that was Lucas Brandoli with his group Barancon with the title song Mama Chola. Well, guys, I know I'm a little bit too late for this, but you don't hear too many people speaking about this on social media. So I thought that today, 2 days later, I will bring up a name. I'm going to bring up the name of Ruby Bridges. Do you guys know who Ruby Bridges is? Well, I tell you that maybe you should look it up. Okay? Ruby Bridges was the first African-American child to attend an all-white public elementary school in the South. It is time that we know our history and know the people that paved our ways for these certain freedoms that we have now. Ruby Bridges turned 64 years old on September the 10th. Yes, it is time to remember the people that paved the way. She was a tiny little girl when she first did this, to the jeers and screams of people while she was trying to attend a certain school. Remember, guys, put it down on your things. September the 10th, Ruby Bridges' birthday, the first African-American child that was able to join an all-white elementary school in the South. Well, guys, there was something else I wanted to come up on before I started my other thing. And I have noticed this, and I've noticed this in life too. People that we call Hispanic or Spanish or Latin with empathy, or let's not say empathy, with a total disregard for the things that are going on in the black community, black and brown communities. I myself, for a long time, have disavowed both of those titles, well, all three of those titles. Whether it be Hispanic, a person who has from Hispanic descent that happens to be from the Caribbean, whether it be Latin, a person that's of Latin descent, of Latin American or Central American descent in Latin America, or Spanish, a person who derives for or is from Spain. These titles have bunched up a whole bunch of people together that honestly do not have a lot in common other than the places they were born. See, because I firsthand have seen races out of other Hispanics and Latins. So I have chosen in these last few years to be known as an Afro-Caribbean, or someone of Afro-Caribbean descent. Not to put dismay on these names that were given to us by our colonizers, but to find my truth, my heritage, my people. See, slowly but surely, our Afro-Caribbean and Afro-Latin people are beginning to realize that the only difference is the port the ship sailed in. Speaking Spanish, speaking Portuguese, speaking whatever other language or English was placed upon you does not give you a get out of jail card, does not take away your blackness. But of course, that's going to be for another day. But I do hope that you will see the realization I came to. Well, for the rest of our people, let's just say this. My name is Candelo Kimbisa, and this is It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere. I see Vibe, you was dancing.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. If you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want you to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're rolling up. Stopping us now. We got the groove. Ain't no stopping us now. I know. Ain't no stopping us now. We got the groove. We got it. I know you know someone that has a negative vibe. And if you're trying to make it, they only push you aside. They really don't have nowhere to go. Ask them where they're going, they don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're gonna put our show together, gonna polish up our act. Well, and if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want you to listen to every word I say, every word I say. No. We're moving, we're grooving. We're moving, yeah. We're grooving. Move it, go. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. I know.
That is Ain't No Stopping Us Now from McFadden and Whitehead. Well, I just know that if I bet you at Love Supply Botanica was getting down to that one there. I just saw many people on Facebook demanding my freedom. Well, guys, it's going to happen sooner or later. You know, I can't be loved or liked by everyone. But you know what? It's okay. I got another story I'm going to read, but I think the story might be a little too long for us today. So I'm going to leave this story for tomorrow. What the heck, we'll read it now. A message from beyond. This comes from the website spiritualstories.com. A message from beyond. She had been a great beauty in her time. After a failed marriage and disintegration of a relationship with her only son, she had several relationships with very wealthy men. She was a gorgeous trophy girlfriend. They took her to exclusive restaurants all over the world, staying in the finest hotels, sailing in the most luxury ships, and brought her jewels, clothes, gave her money, and everything else she ever wanted. When I met Lee, she was beyond her prime. She reminded me of a tiny old silent screen star, long, bleached blonde hair, wearing heavy eye makeup and inappropriate clothing, which ranged from glitzy outfits to cowboy attire with lots of fringe. She was a fascinating character with many stories to tell, so she was very fun to be around. Sometimes she reminisced. She talked about one of her favorite places, Capri Palace Hotel at the top of Anacapri Mountains, with a spectacular view over the Bay of Naples. But she had also seen and done it all. She latched to me as a prospective drinking buddy, decided that I was the perfect candidate. I lived nearby and was single. But I could not go beyond one or two drinks at the Pump Room, which was a generic singles bar on Friday nights. I was a big disappointment to her when I left early. One morning she called and asked me how she happened to have 50 balloons in her apartment when she woke up. I didn't know since I had left at 9 p.m. There were no balloons around at that time. Since she knew every bartender in Chicago, I suggested she make a few calls to solve the mystery by 9 p.m. She hung up on me. Later on, she told me she liked me, but I wasn't much of a sport. I pled guilty to the charge. Lee always had a scheme of how she would make millions of dollars with a new idea. She was smart, but not a good business person. She always lost money when they failed. She never looked back. She just went on to the next. When she was diagnosed with breast cancer, the doctors offered her many options, from surgery to chemistry to radiation. She refused them all. Instead, she decided to live the way she always wanted to. She bought expensive new clothes and booked 3 weeks in a luxury cruise to the Orient. She gave herself an extravagant 70th birthday lunch with an exclusive restaurant. It was over $100 a person, and of course, we had to pay the bill. But that was Lee. She was well for about a year until the cancer took over. She was dying and had no resistance to it happening. Although she had regrets about the lack of communication with her son and her children, and his children, she felt she was not missed a thing in life. She had been everywhere, done everything. There was nothing else to do. A few days before she died, she called me and asked me to come see her. When I was arrived, she was in full makeup and dressed in a beautiful silk nightgown. Her mind was very clear. She came to the point. She said, "I have always thought when you died, you just went into the ethers of the universe and nothing more. I want to know what you think." I told her that our identity lives on in spirit, in thought, and that there was a different life that was lived on the other side. We talked about Robin Williams' movie, What Dreams May Come, when we would create anything and we wanted in our thoughts. She liked the idea. She said, "I want to live in a beautiful hotel, and have money, and I want to order anything I need from room service. Then she added, if this movie is true, I will make a deal with you. I'll get back to you somehow and let you know. A year later, I went to a ceremony in the cemetery to dedicate her stone. I heard nothing from her. Afterwards, there was a lunch, and her son come in with his children. We were all sitting during the dessert telling Lee stories. There were so many wonderful and outrageous ones. Her little 8-year-old grandson was sitting across from me at the table. He had suddenly seen his grandmother. All of a sudden, he piped up. I had a dream about my grandmother last night. She stood to let him talk. He continued. I dreamed that she was very happy. She was living in a beautiful hotel in a very high mountain, and I could see everyone around the hotel. People like Lee leave a big hole in our energy system when they depart this world. They're not ordinary. They take up a lot of space and they need to be replaced. I miss her. So does everyone else who knew this extraordinary, flamboyant character. She never got a PhD. She used her gifts to get along with life. Beauty, charm, intelligence, and lack of fear to take chances. Some may regard these as shallow. But who are we to judge? Someone who did the best they could with what they had. I am happy she is in Capri, and she is in there. Thank you for getting back to us, Lee. You kept your promise. This story was written by Corrine Edwards, who has traveled many different life paths. From a travel agency owner to a sales trainer to an author to a life coach to a TV host. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this little story.
The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho. Your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place and time. You squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. 'Cause there's something inside so strong, so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough. When we know better, just look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. Gonna do it anyway. Something inside so strong. And I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no. Something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough. When we know better, just look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. 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 Because there's something inside so strong. Inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, you thought that my pride was gone. Oh no. Something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Something inside so strong.
That was Labi Sarif with Something Inside So Strong. Well, I got a couple of minutes, so I guess I'll tell you what's coming up. What is coming up? Only the biggest, the baddest, the blackest reunion of conjure workers in the United States. Where will this be, will you ask? Of course it will be inside the Lumber Baron Inn in beautiful Denver, Colorado. I am so looking forward to this. I am so looking forward to this. I thank our friends Loretta and Ryan for setting this up. Man, I'm only bringing the best conjure workers to the Mile High Conjure Gala. With us, of course, will be Amberzine Laguerre from AmberzineLaguerre.com, Miss Aida from MissAida.com, Doc Beverly Smith, of course, bringing that social justice magic, Miss Michelle Jackson, the bone reader extraordinaire, Mr. Professor Charles Porterfield, doing his thing on that life. You know what it is, conjure in that street life. We got Professor Ames, who's going to go over there and teach some awesome classes. Yes, Professor Ames from ProfessorAmes.com, who also lives in the beautiful city of Colorado. I'm in the beautiful state of Colorado. Man, guys, Ifa Ibe was going to be over there giving Professor Ames and Professor Porterfield a hand. Man, and we have vendors from all over the United States, including Miss Rain's Conjure and several other people, and of course myself. You know I'm bringing my bag of tricks. Guys, the guys from Ritual Craft are going to be there. They are a great sponsor and a supporter of the Mile High Conjure Gala. And they're also going to bring their band of readers. So if you want to come on over and meet all of us, just do yourself a favor. Go over to the milehighconjuregala.com. Check us out. You are going to have a blast. And you know what? If you're a vendor, you get to come over on Saturday night and celebrate my birthday with me. Because we always have an after gala jam where everybody takes their shoes off and lets their hair loose. Well, everybody who has hair to let it loose. I just shake my top hat. Guys, remember the Mile High Conjure Gala at the Lumber Baron Inn in beautiful Denver, Colorado. I'll be waiting to see you there. Remember, it's my birthday weekend, and I just love to conjure and to work on my birthday. Well, guys, as always, may all the shadows and egoons that accompany you have all the necessary light. From where I sit, that's it. Salam alaikum, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Mere wo timbo lo de, mere wo timbo lo de, mere wo timbo, ebioso mere wo timbo lo de, mere wo timbo huelea. Mere botimbo lo de, mere botimbo, ebioso mere botimbo lo de, mere botimbo huelea. Mere botimbo lo de, mere botimbo. Mere botimbo lo de, mere botimbo, ebioso mere botimbo lo de, mere botimbo huelea. Mere botimbo huelea. Mere botimbo huelea. Mere botimbo huelea.
It's 12 o'clock somewhere was brought to you by kimbisa.org, the Mile High Conjure Gala, and ravensalley.com.